Happy New Year!
This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. Post all of the madness.
It's actually not the New Year, not to confuse anyone. Our thing just counts
Yeah, you
down.
sure you took an ibuprofen there, buddy?
Our thing counts down, and it went 5, 4, 3, and you know the rest from there. But
Today is Thursday, March 27th, and it has been an eventful and wild week across all of the sports. As in this episode, we're going to check in on the March Madness, including Alex and I's betting updates, recap some of the Matt Madness, and discuss the football madness, all while getting thoughts on a hot topic from last week, an update for the West Virginia University men's basketball team.
true.
Get pumped.
Alex, 1 to 10, 10 being like you're ecstatic, 1 being that KMS level. Where are you right now on a number scale for men's basketball WVU?
Honestly, like right now, like a 5. I don't, I've done some due diligence this afternoon, looking into where our future lies. Not to do a spoiler. I think like
And the
I'm
news is
still
out, Alex. I
annoyed.
don't think you're spoiling anything.
Well, I mean, I know spoiler for the show.
Okay,
Um,
fair enough.
and as far as the not making it in the NCAA tournament, I'm pissed about it. I still think it was wrong. I still don't agree, but I'm like it has passed in my life, and I'll be annoyed about it. But whatever, it can't fix it. So
Okay. Speaking of passing, rest in peace, Mr. George Foreman.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Thanks to everybody that's interacting with our content on the socials at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
ding ding.
Get the bell on. And a ding ding. Congratulations to the West Liberty University men's basketball team who advanced to the Elite Eight in the Division II men's basketball tourney, losing a heartbreaker, a disappointing loss on Tuesday. Great season. I know they wanted more, but still an accomplishment to get to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, it was a crappy game to go out on, but congratulations, that is an accomplishment.
Indeed. Before we get into a little bit of a talk on the March Madness in the college basketball world, a quick update on our tourney bracket challenges. On the men's side, we have K. Shim atop the board with C-Rad, followed by Ben Bidet, along with Elon's 5 bullet points, and one of my brackets, rounding out the top 5. On the women's side, we have D-Sip and ex-Duval Lions on top, followed by Fadeaway Threes, Bell 15, and one of our randomly generated sports stuff with Jim and Muff brackets.
If you get beat by the rando, how you feel about that?
There's a lot of people
I guess we
that
should
are
all ask each other.
losing to the
I
rando.
guess we should all. Yeah, I was gonna say we should all ask ourselves that, because are any of us any of those teams?
Nope.
No. I have no idea who the Duval Lions are. I thought it might be Nate at one point.
Nope.
We'll see, though, on the women's side. Many at or near the top may have a lot of negative impacts to their bracket, with USC without Juju Watkins, the number 1 player in women's basketball, after tearing her ACL. So we're going to see.
Sucks.
We're going to see.
That's the stuff that makes you sick.
Indeed. But that brings us into the March Madness, the basketball world. Before we get into that, let's do a quick recap of the casino day with the boys. And shout out to Junior for joining us towards the end of this. Alex, why don't you take the world through what that experience was for you?
At the casino?
How you enjoyed the day, and how Nate and I observed you enjoying the day.
Well, first of all, I had to text them because I got there early because I wanted to make sure that someone was there to have seats, and I took the whole day off, and they only had half days, and so I went down, took one for the team. I just want to say this: I was going early to the casino just because I was worried about the team, not because I wanted to be at the casino early.
Right.
And at one point in time, I texted them that I already had placed bets and had a bush light and was still waiting on them. And I texted Muff and Nate and asked them to bring me a writing utensil because I forgot you get those cool sheets where you can like keep track of your bets as you make them for the whole first round. And Nate, I don't know if I'm putting you on blast here, but he brought me some good pens. Muff brought me one black pen. Nate showed up with a pencil, red pen, and blue pen. So I was able to completely annotate my sheet.
Thanks,
Shout
Bob
out to
Nutting.
Nate. I wasn't gonna go there, but so I figured all the years I've suffered as a Pirates fan, and all I got with this stupid pen. No, we had a great time. We bet on lots of basketball games, and I decided I was going to try to bet on animal racing. I say that because there was horse racing and greyhound racing going on. So I went over to the little machine and I just started clicking buttons. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I got this. I figured it out. I know what these buttons do." Turns out I bet on horse races that are nowhere near Wheeling and on the next day. So while I was trying to look at all the screens and find where my horse race was, Muff looked at my ticket and realized that I had bet on the next day's races.
The
We
next
did
day's
look them
dog
up.
races.
Yeah, dog races. Yeah, so we did look them up when we were at the affair with Emerald Flare, and I did not win those ones, but I was damn close to winning a trifecta on accident. But I digress. I did play up and down on my $20 I put into the animal racing for a long time, until I finally lost. So that was fun and a new adventure I learned a lot about. Basketball
Nate,
games.
Nate, uh, Nate, there was a time when Alex disappeared for a bit, and
Oh,
Yeah,
we,
Alex
we
is. Oh,
speculated that Alex was going to get something to eat. But Nate, what was happening?
oh boy.
he was over there playing some sort of machine.
I got distracted by a big shiny machine. And yeah, and there's a lot of them there, and they flash at you, and they have like spinning wheels and stuff. And I found one where it's like I had to pee, so that part was real. And I had no intentions of this, but I walked by, and you actually got to like pull the lever. So like obviously I'm gonna stop and play that. I did lose the money I put in there, and then returned back to the group. Um, but yeah, overall, not a bad day.
Not a bad day. Alex definitely had the most money in action, money in play at any given moment, whether that was on a basketball game, on the slot, on the machine, at the bar where we were sitting.
Yeah, there was a slot machine at
Alex
my
is
bar
definitely all
stool
about it.
where I could play Keno. And this one where you picked the things and then you picked like the bonus things and this gun like shot the numbers. So that's the problem for me. It's really not about the money. It's about the excitement of playing the game. Um, but I left and I lost a little bit, but honestly not much at all. So I think
It was just funny when you came back with the first racing ticket for I think the horse or the dog or whichever race it was, and Muff's looking at it, and you go, "Oh, I got number 5 on this race." And I look up at the screen, I'm like, "Alex, it says number 5 is a scratch."
That is exactly
that's
how that played out, and that's whenever I found that it was for the next day. Um, but in the basketball world, we didn't have much really going on because everything was pretty chalk, especially on that first day, aside from McNeese State. So that is some of the biggest news from the first weekend of the men's side of the NCAA tournament, is that there weren't really any upsets. There's no Cinderella stories really left at this point. McNeese won their first round game. Shout out Amir Khan, the manager for McNeese State.
Who's
Definitely
apparently travel.
scuttle.
Isn't he going like NIL money and going with the coach?
Yeah, so he's apparently gonna travel to NC State and be part of their program. We'll see where that goes. We had Arkansas as a 10 seed make it to the Sweet 16. Maryland's Derek Queen had a buzzer
Walked.
beater in the round of 32. Shout out Baltimore. Apparently
He says,
that's a thing.
"How did you like know you're gonna make it? Like, what was your motivation behind that?" He's like, "I'm from Baltimore." and just walked
Nate,
away.
is that speculation or is that traveling call supported by others in the officiating world?
Let's just put it this way: my mother was the first one that caught it. Whenever I was watching the end of that game, I go, "What are you talking about?" They showed it again. I'm like, "Oh, 1, 2, 3, yep."
Yeah, there's a lot of people comparing the college to the NBA game. NBA, that would be commonplace. They call that the gather step. Um, but in college world, usually not so much. But thus far in the men's side, it's been a pretty chalk and ho-hum tourney. With many, there's a lot of speculation and discussion now, that many are attributing this to the transfer portal and NIL because the mid-majors in the smaller schools can't really hang on to those star players after their freshman or sophomore year, and thus they all transfer into these larger schools, and those smaller schools can't really be competitive. Do we feel that is in any way true,
Yeah,
Nate?
and I hate that they open up this transfer portal so early. I think it, who was it? I think it was like J.J. Watt might have said something. It's like they did it in football season where they opened the portal during the playoff. It's like, could you imagine if the NFL was like open free agency during the postseason? Like you already have coaches that are interviewing that are still in the playoffs, but like, could you imagine if they got to the point like that in other sports, not just collegiate athletics?
Not cool. I don't like that. I think you finish the whole season before you start tampering around.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because I saw somewhere there was, I think, a player I want to say for a team that just made the Sweet 16 and was already announced he's going to transfer.
Yeah, and I don't know. It just kind of hurts to like, and I know it's hard to stop. You're always going to have those backroom conversations, but I think the fact that we just like leave it out in the open that that's what we're doing, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Definitely, we'll talk more about the transfer portal and what that is looking like now. Some fun facts. We found out that BYU's Richie Saunders is the great grandson of the inventor of the tater tot and founder of Ore-Ida.
Yeah, I think his NIL deal may be a little suspicious.
Why do you feel that way, Nate?
I don't know. I sense some nepotism there.
Some nepotism. Dan Hurley, not a fan of the officiating after their second round loss, led to further reporting and further information coming out from some, we'll say, reliable news outlets. Charlotte Sports Live indicated that UConn communications director reportedly told a journalist he would ruin his life if he didn't um, delete the not safe for work Dan Hurley clip post game where he said that the officials were fucking awful and they hope that I forget what team was playing afterwards didn't get fucked like they did.
Baylor.
Um, Baylor, yes. The NCAA and Raleigh police apparently have launched an investigation. Reports shared say that the NCAA may be considering a postseason ban and loss of scholarships, not based on what he said, but based on what the communications director may have threatened.
Yes, I thought I saw somewhere that said that it's a criminal charge in the state of North Carolina for someone to make threats like that.
So we'll see where that ends up. Dana Hurley definitely has been very outspoken when things are not going as well. Obviously, you got the people that pile on, and that's what's going on right now. In the betting world, Alex and I have stayed true to our word and have bet on every game,
We have.
and we're going to share our current progress through the first two rounds, as well as our bets for the Sweet 16 matchups right about meow. Go ahead, Alex.
All right, so my betting update in the first round, I went 17 and 15, so I was up 0.354 units. And in the second round, I went 10 and 6 and was up 3.092 units for a total of 3.446 units up.
My journey was the tale of two rounds. In the first round, I went 11 and 21, and I was 10.94 units down. Very bad, very bad. In that first couple days, But I rebounded well. It was in the second round. I went 13-3, and I was 8.894 units up. So overall, right now, I'm just about 2 units down going into the Sweet 16. So Alex is up. I'm still in the hunt to be on the positive side of this situation, and we will see how this progresses. So I'll be on the lookout not only for our picks right now for the Sweet 16, but also before the games start on Saturday. Definitely be on the lookout for our Elite Eight picks. So we're going to get into our best bets for the round of 16. I'm just going to rattle off the games and the lines here, Alex, and then we'll both give our best bets for this round. We got BYU, Bama minus 5.5, over under 175.5. Alex, you are on.
I am on BYU plus 5.5 here.
All right, I'm actually going to do a double dip on this one. I'm going to take Bama to cover 5.5 and the over 175.5 in that matchup.
Ooh.
Next game, we've got Maryland versus Florida. Florida favored by 6.5, over under 156.5.
I have Florida minus 6.5.
And I'm going to take the Maryland Florida over 156.5. The theme of the Sweet 16 for me is life is too short to bet the under, Alex.
Fair enough.
Arizona Duke favored by 9.5, over under 153.5.
I feel like I'm probably going to ride Duke for a while. So give me Duke minus 9.5.
I'm going to be over on this game as well. Arizona Duke over 153.5. Next, we have Arkansas taking on Texas Tech. Texas Tech favored by 5.5, over under 148.5.
I will jump on the over train with you here and go with the over. Primarily
And that is
because
where
I
I
kind
am
of
too.
think Arkansas would cover here. So that was one of my initial thoughts, but I'm going to end up with the over, I think.
All right, that makes two of us. I am also on the over. Next, we have Ole Miss, Michigan State. Michigan State favored by 3.5, over under 142.5.
Give me the Tom Izzo Spartans, Michigan State minus 3.5.
Same here, January, February. Izzo to cover. Kentucky, Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 4.5, over under 144.5.
Tennessee minus 4.5.
Same here, Tennessee to cover. Michigan, Auburn. Auburn favored by 9.5, over under 153.5. Alex.
Michigan plus 9.5.
Me too. I'm going to take Michigan plus the points. And then we have Purdue taking on Houston.
Give me
Houston
Houston
favored by
minus
7.5, over under 132.5.
Give me Houston minus 7.5 here. I fiddled back and forth with the over, but I'm going to take Houston to cover.
All right. That's what we got. Other news in the basketball world. Getting some of the deep duty here, Alex.
Former
Lots
WVU
happened in a
coach.
week.
I know. Former WVU coach Darian DeVries inks a deal with Indiana, presumably with his son following, and possibly guard Jonathan Powell, who entered into the transfer portal. Much to do in the group chat on this one, but before we get off the rails, Jay Vilas has this to say on Twitter. Remember, the coaches portal is always open. Further supported by McNeese's head coach committing to NC State before they even started in the tournament. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. So you could look back to them blaming DeVries' son's injury on the reason they didn't get into the tournament. Were they alluding more to the fact that possibly his son's injury wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be? He wanted more time to be able to play with his dad in Indiana. So he sat this one out, and the committee was punishing WVU for these kind of backdoor dealings. It would suck if that kind of came out as a WVU fan, because we made a big stink, and if there was some dirty play going on, then ouch. I will say that Ren Baker, our athletic director, came out and was talking about today that he basically did everything he could to keep Darian DeVries. They more or less said that he got a great offer from Indy. They were going back and forth. He They were deciding where they were going to land on a continued deal with him. He got a deal with Indiana, and I guess took it and didn't really give like he was giving WV the chance to counter on other offers he was getting, and then this one it just seems like it happened and it was done, and so Ren Baker's like basically he didn't really give us that opportunity to compete. I don't know if he thought that we wouldn't, but we definitely would have considered reaching deeper into the pockets after the success, in not success, but the good building season that we had. But unfortunately did not get that opportunity. So he leaves, and when I thought on it, I think I was disappointed to see him go because I think he was doing a nice job. But the bottom line for me is if you don't want to be here, don't be. So moving forward, onward and upward, the
Wait,
WVU
first. Jim had some thoughts on the
I
Indiana
did?
coaching job
Oh, it's much better than the WVU job.
because
not
Jim.
not doing not last
Storied program.
storied program. Yes, there is a movie about it. It was a story.
Is that the definition we're going to use? Storied means there's some dramatic
Storied
film.
program. There is a story about it. It is called Hoosiers. You guys should watch it. But as I pointed out, WVU has been in the Final Four more recently and had more recent successes than Indiana basketball. Leave it at that. That's an objective fact. You can't
Flash
argue
in
me
the
on
pan.
it. Period.
Flash in the pan.
Indiana is the flash in the pan, just like the Cowboys of the NFL right now. They all want to talk about their history, how good they used to
When
be.
was WVU's last title?
I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying if you want to talk about how Indiana,
I
look,
just want to know what WVU's last title was. That's all I'm asking, Nate. When was the last
There
title?
never was.
What?
And I'm not
okay.
When was the last time
Alright.
Indiana was in the Final Four?
Listen, I don't ever expect.
Do they have titles?
When was the last time Indiana was in the Final Four? If you're not going to answer my question,
Alright,
why do I have
so-
to answer yours?
The next time somebody says something about the Steelers, I'm just saying they have the rings. They got the rings. They're so good. They're so great.
Oh, I can't stand that shit either.
They also
So
made
we
the
can't talk
playoffs.
shit. We can't talk shit on the Steelers because they got all these rings. Indiana's great. They got rings. WU ain't got shit.
Well, then we'll use your argument in the same way, Jim, of your Texans who have no rings. So if they get good, then we
You
can do
don't
the
hear
same
me
thing.
saying shit right now.
But you talk shit on the Steelers.
Muff, I went a whole year without it.
Oh,
whole
I went
year.
one whole year. Oh,
A
my
whole year.
God.
Now you're gonna come back at me.
What, a dog year?
A whole year I haven't said shit.
Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. That's whenever your shit talking begins
I
again.
will talk shit on Aaron Rodgers and stay consistent.
All right, so back to what I was saying. How do I feel about Ross Hodge being the next WVU men's basketball coach? He's good. I mean, he's
A baby face.
Good
yeah
enough for a non-storied program, right?
young, and he's been playing at the NBA logo is after a WVU basketball player.
I mean, okay. He did great in the NBA. Not because of what he did to West Virginia.
That would be storied.
I can't. I'm not doing this time. So I'm talking right now. This is my time.
You've talked for at least half an hour about basketball.
Well, you just sit there and take it. So
Much like WVU did.
he's new. He's a baby face. He's young. He's coached to success in smaller programs,
And he's perfect for WVU.
he has a really solid defensive scheme. He's done well and raised good defensive teams. I kind of read his statement. Just again, I'm sure some of it's lip service, but talking about how like the toughness and the grit of
Were they full sentences?
This is why it's not. Never mind. I'm done. Move on. St. Francis is going from the Division I tournament participant to Division III basketball school in the President's Athletic Conference, the same conference that holds Bethany College, which is where I reside. So that's interesting, going from watching them in the Division I tournament to watching them play Division III basketballs. That will be
It
in
was
2026,
stated by those within the
2027.
program. It was the liberalization of the transfer portal a few years ago. It was our inability to compete with the name, image, and likeness scheme that's just out of our reach, plus the uncertainties that go along with being a small Division I institution. In a perfect world, we would have stayed in the Northeast Conference, the same conference. No, it's not the same conference. There were a lot of factors that were really stacked against us that kind of forced us into this position. So we're going to talk about the transfer portal, and we're going to talk about the real impacts that NIL may be having, especially for programs like St. Francis. It's important to note that there are 1,700 plus basketball players that entered the transfer portal on its opening day, which broke the record of 291 in 2024, with 850 plus this year coming from D1 and 925 plus coming from Division 2. That represents nearly 10% of all Division 1 and Division 2 men's basketball players that have entered the portal.
I just want to know if the coach
That
wrote
is
his statement in full
significance.
sentences, and Alex is yet to
Yes.
tell me if that happened. And he's too good for WVU.
I'm still trying to figure out where Indiana is coming out on top of this deal with Darian DeVries whenever he couldn't even get a team to the tournament, Jim. So why is Indiana going
According
to...
to Alex, he couldn't get to the tournament due to government inside job.
I don't think there was ever government discussion.
NCAA, I'm sorry. The fix was in.
Alex, any comment?
Nope.
Is that a no? All right, Jim. Have at it. Talk for as long as you want now.
I don't need to. I'm good. If Alex isn't going to play, this show is going to lose all the ratings. We're screwed. We're
So you don't want
screwed.
to talk about wrestling, which
No,
you
no,
said
I'm
was the real
disappointed.
March Madness.
Alex has given up.
My mom taught me when I was little and my sister was driving me absolutely effing nuts that if I don't react, they'll stop. So I'm practicing that tactic with you right now.
Well, you did good.
Thanks, Mom.
You did good.
So you're not going to talk about wrestling, Jim?
No, you got it covered because you're going to give me this how WVU or Penn State is so awesome.
Seems like
Is that not true?
Seems like that's subjective. When you win
So,
before you even win. I mean,
Let's just point to the facts here. Penn State's dominance continues in NCAA wrestling as they win their 12th team title under Cale Sanderson and score a record number of team points, 177, which bested last year's mark. But many still think that they underperformed based on the top-level potential, as they only had two national champions, one in now record five-time champion Carter Starachi, and in first-time champ Mitchell Messenbrink. They also had 8 top 3 finishers, and all 10 were All-Americans within the top 6, which is only the second time in NCAA history that has happened.
But we underachieved.
Well, they had like 3 number 1 wrestlers that did not make it to the championship final bout.
It was noticeable.
But they still had the most successful team outing.
I agree.
Team results.
Still noticeable in the finals.
What, because it wasn't as much fun, or?
Yeah, honestly, you want my honest opinion? Yeah, I will absolutely. They didn't have as many guys in the finals, and it was not fun not seeing Cale Sanderson out there very much.
The most viral match, the most viral news, and the moment for many of the tournament came at heavyweight when Wyatt Hendrickson from Oklahoma State upset Gable Steveson in the last match of the night with a last-minute takedown, riding him out for about the final 30 seconds to take the win, salute the commander-in-chief,
All right, hold on.
and walk off with the title.
Let's go back a second. Did that happen? Yes. That did occur. I am going to do something that's probably going to catch a lot of shit, but I'm going to do it. Okay, so get pumped. All right?
If only we could match your energy.
Get pumped. Did they make a big deal out of Donnie Trump being at the finals? No. Okay, that did not happen. Am I wrong here, Muff? Prior to him winning that match.
So you've got to remember, I missed the first 3-ish matches because I was at the affair with Emerald Flair, and my only reporting of what I missed is old DJT may have been a little overzealous with Carter Starachi after that match. That's the only thing I heard, but after that I did not see anything about him until this heavyweight match.
Donnie T did not act a fool. Like, we saw him at the Super Bowl. He made it a thing. Okay? It happened. The coverage of Donnie T did not make it a big deal. So, the salute we'll get to. Let's go to the match. Okay? Gable Stevenson, lots of hype about this big bastard. For those who don't know about this guy, former national champion, former Olympian, former pro wrestler.
Former Olympic gold medalist, I think we need to put that in perspective there.
Former failed wrestler, former failed NFL star. Okay.
I think you... Former...
There's some bias there.
Yes, okay. As long as we can put there, because he was never an NFL star to be failed. He attempted to join a team.
You're not wrong. I might have a little bias there. I own my shit. Okay? He comes out. He looks like a badass. Cormier is hyping this guy up. Jock riding the whole way. The Oklahoma State guy can never get his... Is it Erickson?
Wyatt Hendrickson.
Hendrickson. Comes out wearing the American flag. Someone who doesn't know his full story would assume that that is a shot because only Olympians wear that flag in wrestling. Then it's revealed he is an Air Force cadet.
It wasn't revealed. People that know the story knew that was the whole
I'm saying as a novice who's tuning in.
Got it.
It is revealed to the audience he's an Air Force cadet. Not one mention of Donnie T in that revelation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Hell of a match. It is hyped up. Stevenson has not been taken down all tournament. I think all year. Okay? Stevenson does not look as dominant as we thought he was going to be. Last 20 seconds, what happens? Air Force cadet takes him down. Okay? Wins the match. Oh, I forgot one part. Stevenson dog walks, gets in the guy's face at the entrance, which is unheard of. Unheard of. And uncalled for, quite frankly. But obviously, it's hyped up that he's upset because this kid's wearing a flag. So back to the end of the match. Guy takes him down, wins the match. Kid takes the flag, puts it back on his shoulders, salutes Donnie T, shakes his hand. Good night. We're not talking to Donnie. It's over. I don't understand the outrage about Donald Trump being there.
I think the algorithm's got you because I have not seen any of that.
Oh, more than the algorithm, my dude. More than the algorithm. There were phone calls. And there was conversation. There are people who don't want to watch wrestling ever again. And I'm going to catch all kinds of bombs for even bringing this up on my podcast. I'm sorry. Him being there was good for wrestling. I'm going to catch shit, but I'm going to say it. There was nothing wrong with what happened at that tournament. Sorry, guys. Go ahead, Muff.
Sorry, guys. Is there anybody you want to shout out here?
They know who they are, and I'm going to catch a lot of shit.
All right, make sure we make some good clips for that one.
Please don't.
No, it's already done, buddy. Consider it done.
You're gonna
That's
ruin.
Why I'm curious. If you want me to tag people, I can do that.
I'm gonna ruin a holiday. That's for sure.
You're gonna ruin a holiday.
Yeah.
You mean like an American holiday or a Brit on vacation holiday?
We're gonna ruin the holidays, probably.
Holidays. So yeah, that all went down. Still a good tournament overall. We had a cool moment when we had two brothers face off against each other as Mac Stout, who wrestles with Pitt, and Luke Stout, who wrestles at Princeton, became the first brothers to meet in an NCAA tournament. And their father wrestled, I believe, at Clarion, and is an absolute unit. So if you see that interview, they interviewed him while the match was going on, and the only thing I can think of is I hope nothing crazy happens because this man is going to destroy this gentleman that's reporting him. It's the
Yeah.
only thing I could think about because the man was an absolute just monster of a human. Speaking of the coverage, and I don't know how
Okay.
much you got to watch, Jim, but there were many that were critical of ESPN's coverage overall, that it was maybe focusing a little too much on the storylines and not as enough on the action itself, especially since you have 6, 7, 8 mats going, and we're only seeing 1 or 2 matches at a time. So I want to get your thoughts on what you were able to watch, Jim, and what you thought about the coverage.
I agree to some extent. I mean, Cormier was dogging some of the wrestlers, even saying things like, "Look, guys, we're trying to get people to tune in." Like, they were definitely trying to hype up and get the storylines and get people to watch wrestling. But again, like, and I guess Alex is not one I should ask because like we've kind of already tainted him towards wrestling. But like, Alex, are you going to tune into the finals during March Madness of wrestling?
Um, so I actually tried to watch some of the earlier, like the first couple rounds, and I actually think I mentioned it to Muff first. I said I turned it on for a while, and it was just like interviews and stuff, and I just kind of turned it off because I was like, yeah, I wanted to just like watch a couple wrestling matches before I went to bed, and it was just like, yeah, I don't know enough to really care that deeply about some of these stories.
Well,
Um,
that helps. That helps my cause here. My point being is like nobody's going to randomly just turn it on because there are no storylines in your head if you don't know.
well, that's it. No, I turned it on because I just wanted to watch a little bit of wrestling and didn't get anything and turned it off.
Well, I think they have to do something. I don't know that I have an issue with it. I don't know.
I get some, but like it was like I watched it for a while and I can see that there's all these matches going on in the background and I'm just watching people talk to each other.
ESPN also was trying to force people to ESPN Plus, which is where they had all of like the matches. I think you could pick and choose mat to mat throughout that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get that they're commercializing it. So my thought is, if we want this coverage to be the best it can be and create exposure to the sport, like, okay, let's just give the people all of the things and then build upon it for later and not try to force people to buy this extra subscription for a weekend tournament. That was my thought, is let's highlight the sport, let's highlight the action that happens consistently, which is what they do with the Big Ten championships on the Big Ten network. Like, they've got a quad box, like they're just constant action. I'd rather see that type of thing to get people excited about the sport than every 5 to 10 minutes doing a 2 or 3 minute bit or segment on why this person, who may not even make it to the finals or be in a placement match, why they're important to the sport when we're not going to see them on Saturday night. That's just my thought.
Um, Full disclosure, guys, I finally caved.
What does that mean?
I bought ESPN Plus yesterday.
Oh, did you get the bundle with the Disney?
Yeah, I already had Hulu, so I could add ESPN and Disney for like $7 or something. And I did it because I just wanted to watch the West Lib game. It was on ESPN Plus, and I was like, "F it, I'm
I
just
know,
doing it. I'm
Alex.
sick
Just
of
so you know,
fighting it."
that was on the NCAA's website for free.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, they stream it
Well,
for free through the NCAA's website. Moving on. Anything else in the wrestling world, Nate? I don't think you got a chance to watch any of that. Is that a no, Nate?
Nate's muted.
Sorry, someone was walking through. I didn't want the background noise.
Someone. So it's
Do we
Guru's glitter.
notice someone?
But anyway, I didn't catch any of the madness. But what I was going to try to respond to Alex was I tried to watch on the NCAA website as well, and I couldn't find the live stream, but I did have ESPN Plus already, so I watched it on there as well.
Makes me feel better that Nate also struggled.
All right. All right. So moving on to the NFL. We had some signings over the past week. Stephon Diggs headed to the Patriots on a 3-year deal. Gets a pretty nice salary over these 3 years. The Patriots did have a lot of money left in their cap to spend, and Stephon Diggs is a recipient of that, coming off an ACL injury last year with the Texans. Do we think this is a overall positive signing for the Patriots, not just in year 1, but in years 2 and 3 as well. Nate.
If they can keep him from being a diva, sure. Because I mean, in his last couple years in Buffalo, he's a little bit of a distraction, and then I don't know. I have to defer to Jim on the Houston's thoughts of Diggs and before he got hurt.
Pretty sure we cursed all teams. I'm cursing all teams. Like I ruin teams.
You become a fan of every team in the NL Central aside from the Pirates.
I think I might.
just to help us. At least we're all going to be on the same level playing field if every team is cursed. We at least have that going on for us. Alex, what do you feel about Stephon Diggs to New England?
I think it's great for New England and terrible for Stephon Diggs. I don't understand this move.
That's not a bad take.
Yeah, Alex is not a fan of Drake May throwing Stephon Diggs the ball.
I just think if I'm Stephon Diggs and I'm supposed to be one of the top receivers in the league, I'm going to go somewhere that has a solid quarterback. I mean, why are you going to go somewhere with a subpar quarterback and expect to do it? I don't know.
Does money be green?
Well, that's it. I mean, that's it. It's, do you want to be good and you want to win championships, or do you want to get paid? And he wanted to get paid, so he made a choice, but he's gonna have to live with it.
Yeah,
so
he took him
out.
Drake
May's subpar to you?
Yeah.
After one season, now, you can say he's subpar?
Yeah, he has not done anything yet to make him a quarterback that I would desire.
Fair enough.
I'm not saying he never will. I'm just saying at this point he hasn't.
I'm interested to see how this plays out. I think, number one, I don't think Drake May had any high-level receivers, but is he getting a high-level receiver with Stephon Diggs coming off an ACL injury? I don't know. So I think there's just a lot of question marks overall on this. I am interested to see how this plays out. We have Russ Wilson signing with the Giants, joining Jameis Winston in New York.
Go Big Blue is a new catchphrase.
Thank you. I did not know that, Nate. I can't think of two people that I am more interested to see how they talk to each other, have conversations on the sidelines, and just coexist in a locker room than Russ Wilson and Jameis Winston.
I say we bring Tim Tebow out of retirement and he signs with the Giants.
That may be one of the best locker rooms ever.
I saw a meme with Russ Wilson, and you know, he did the one of the Broncos. He's like, "Let's ride," and he was like, "It was like Giants country. Let's cry." And I'm like, sad. I was like, that's funny.
I think Russ Wilson rehearses the things that Jameis Winston just says. Right, that's what I feel like. Russ Wilson is intentional about being the way he is, and Jameis is just that. So I think you're just gonna find these awkward conversations where Jameis is like, "What do you mean, man? Just what we're gonna do? We're gonna go out there and do this, this, and this." Russ is like, "Hold on, let me consult the script." Nate,
I was gonna say, so what do we think this does for the Giants in the draft now that they signed these two? Because there's a lot of speculation they draft Shador.
Right, I think there's still a lot of the draft pundits in the NFL. Reporters and people that are in that industry saying that it's still in the best interest of the Giants to take a quarterback. Russ Wilson's only on a 1-year deal. Is Jameis 1-year deal?
2-year.
2-year. So I mean, I think if they're looking for the long play, they've got to get a younger quarterback in there. I mean, those two aren't it for the next 3 to 5 years.
No, I just wonder what kind of dynamic that creates in the team, though. To think you got a veteran in Russ who obviously wants to be a starter. Jameis still thinks he can start. And then, of course, if you draft the guy 3rd overall, the noise is going to be there to play him.
It is. I mean, I think Jameis' salary is pretty commensurate with backup money. So even though he may
2-year, $8 million.
Yeah, it's for a year. That's backup money. So yeah. But if they draft somebody, yes, let's tune in. Let's get them a Hard Knocks. We also have Michael Gallup headed to the Commanders.
Bum 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 bum.
So just adding another piece. I mean, not a high-profile piece, but just another receiver for Jaden Daniels. Commanders, I would say, pretty solid offseason thus far.
Yeah, now they're putting all the pressure on themselves.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get that rookie quarterback. In the Steelers world, most, not just in Steelers world, but across the nation, speculating that Aaron Rodgers will become a Steeler likely within the next couple weeks after a long visit last weekend with Aaron Rodgers to the facility and most of the Steelers' top executives. Alex, now that we know that Russ Wilson isn't available, is the writing on the wall and most people are just going to have to accept this is the outcome, or are there still other options that you are hopeful for?
I think it's probably writing on the wall. I don't have any huge hopes for anything else, and I've just decided that I'm just gonna ride it out. Hope it's fun. Hope he has a good Aaron Rodgers year, not a bad Aaron Rodgers year. That's all you can do. Aaron, I mean,
So
he'll have
you're
George
not
Pickens and
happy
DK
about it.
Metcalf. See how it goes, and I hope for the best.
So you're not happy about it.
I'm not like thrilled. I would prefer that we get a young quarterback who we're going to develop to have for several years. I think Aaron Rodgers
Pick
is
up
on.
Will Howard in round 2.
I'd be okay with. I'd be okay with it. I still am of the. I'm still in the camp that what I would like to see happen is them get Will Howard and have him sit behind an Aaron Rodgers, learn from Aaron Rodgers, and then take that role. I've said that since we started talking about the Steelers quarterback situation. I would like to, if they get Aaron
But you
Rodgers, I
wanted
would like.
Russ Wilson over Aaron Rodgers, so isn't that was the desired outcome for you? Was Russ Wilson with a young quarterback behind him?
Well, I mean, I think it was either. Yeah, I think in a direct question, you said, "Would you rather keep Russ Wilson or Aaron Rodgers?" I was like, "This point, probably just keep Russ Wilson." But either way, my point for either of them would be, I want to see a young quarterback get drafted and have a year or so to develop into a good quarterback and then take over.
We all know I'm excited about this. Let's just ink this deal. Let's get it done.
How long
Come on,
before Muff
Aaron.
orders a
Come on, Aaron.
Rodgers Steelers jersey?
Oh my
Well,
god.
he was saying before Jim got on here, he already got tickets to training camp.
Let's go to St. Vincent, baby. Let's have a day.
That would be Muff.
I don't think that the fanboy moment would be me. I don't think any of you have ever really seen me in that state.
Aaron, I'm in the book club and I got my ayahuasca over here.
I'll put this gemstone in your butt.
Alex is like, I'm not taking it out.
I'll just follow him around with a big coker forceps.
Forceps.
Yeah. All right, just in case this goes south, I'm ready.
Saying, guys, you follow me all the way to the AFC Championship game. It's cool.
Hey, I said I'm.
You too can put crystals up your butt to get to the AFC Championship. You too can do that,
have one in my
Alex.
butt right now.
Oh my Christ.
Sounds like that you're a fan of Aaron Rodgers, and I'm all aboard this train.
If he's a Steeler, I'm going to root for him. Period. I don't want to. I don't want to see him come and suck. I'm not going to celebrate if he does come to the Steelers and do badly. If he comes to the Steelers, I want him to be good, and I want the Steelers to win.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Also in the AFC North, the Haslam family has committed to investing $2 billion in a dome stadium and mixed-use development project a mile outside of the Cleveland city limits.
Huntington Bank Stadium.
Yes?
The stamp on that motherfucker right there.
Way to go, Jim.
Does that mean you're gonna go to Cleveland games? You're gonna get tickets?
I don't know what you mean. I'm just saying that's the name of it. The naming rights have already been determined.
So we're gonna get box seats and hang out?
No.
Was
Okay,
that a
twice a year.
yes or a no?
No, why would we do
That was a
that?
laugh saying no, but the answer really is yes.
We
Why
really
would we
did.
do that?
Can we
Why
get tickets
wouldn't
to the Steelers game?
I mean, I'll see what I can do, boys.
I mean, it's not.
Why? No, we would not. Why?
It's not honey. Why wouldn't we? This is what I want to know.
I don't want to sit in the mistake by the lake. I don't want to be in that cold shit.
It's in a dome.
That is true. That you know what? I didn't put the pieces together.
Fight
It's still Cleveland.
Jim, Huntington is getting the naming rights to a dome in
That's
Cleveland.
true.
I think we can do this now.
That's still true. Yep.
I have done the outside experience in Cleveland.
Ugh.
I agree that it was not the greatest day of my life. But in a dome, I can stomach that. I can watch some Cleveland football in a dome and some box seats.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, we have the full list of potential rule changes came out. This is not the exhaustive list, but the highlights we already talked about last week. The Packers putting forward the no brotherly shove, tush push. See where that goes. The Lions had a couple options here. One was to eliminate the automatic first down on defensive holding and illegal contact penalties. Nate, as an official, what do you feel with that proposal by the Lions?
I like it, but it's not going to pass because they were the team that committed these fouls the most this past year. But I'm all for it only because I think that it's something that's not. I mean, unless you can deem it intentional, I don't think you should just be awarding teams a first down, especially for illegal contact. Holding, sure, you can keep that one as a first down. But, I mean, if a guy gets chucked at 7 yards and you want to call it illegal contact, a 5-yard penalty should never automatically result in a first down.
Yep. I'm definitely on board with that illegal contact not being the first down. I for all of the reasons you just said, it's just another tool in the toolbox of the offense and the wide receivers to be able to take advantage of the rules. So
yeah, I mean, they already have enough in the game now to favor the offense and to favor scoring, where we just need to really limit. I mean, I get it. Like in high school, like DPI is not an automatic first down. DPI is just a 15-yard penalty. You could have 3rd and 30 and tackle the receiver for a 15-yard foul. Where in the NFL, I get it, it's going to be a spot foul automatic. But to say illegal contact is going to result in a first down, I think is a little excessive.
Other thoughts on that, Alex, Jim?
No, I think Nate makes good points.
All right. The Lions have also proposed a postseason format to allow wildcard teams to be seeded higher than division champions if the wildcard team has a better regular season record. Another self-serving proposition here, but do we think that this also has some level of merit? Alex?
I think this kind of plays into what we talked about with the NCAA football tournament. We were talking about how, like, just because you're a conference champion doesn't mean necessarily that you should be ranked above some of these higher seeded teams. So I don't really have a problem saying that the best teams are highest ranked. Because I think that you do get screwed if, I think we've been victims to this in the AFC North before, where we may be second in the AFC North but have a significantly better record than, another divisional team. So I don't have a huge problem with it. I think it's reasonable.
All right. Jim, Nate, thoughts?
I like this one. It's just another one that I'm not sure is going to go well with like the owners. But I mean, yeah, you got to put some weight on winning your division. But like Alex said, like you can have a team that's 10-8 or 10-7 or whatever, versus like you have this year, you have a team that's 13-4, has to go on the road.
Jim?
I like it.
All right. And the Eagles have proposed to use the playoff overtime structure in the regular season. For some reason, I don't even realize that it's different.
Yeah, this one, this got to be a for sure thing to pass. I mean, you have too much money on these games and too much going on the standings to say, oh, well, hey, first team scored, sorry.
Right. So, I have a feeling this one's going to go through for the reasons Nate just said. Anything else in the NFL that we have missed?
I don't think so.
All right.
Less than a month to the draft.
There we go. Less than a month to the draft, where Jim starts to think about football again.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the NFL, I should say. In the college football world, only one item of note.
No, I put more. I just didn't put in the right spot.
Across the bow at Alex, former Tampa Bay Bucks offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich has joined Coach Prime's Colorado coaching staff.
F Prime.
Byron Leftwich went to Marshall.
He did.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So was this We Hate Marshall?
No.
stance?
You're doing what Jim does in conflating multiple statements into one thought. No, I don't like Coach Prime. I don't really have a problem with Byron Leftwich or Marshall.
All right, Jim, have at it.
Georgia wide receiver Nitro Tuggle was driving at 107 before he was stopped and arrested on March 19th in Athens, Clark County by police. What is going on? Are the roads that entertaining? Like, do you think
there was
it's just
another incident that same day, wasn't there, Nate? Didn't we see this
It
when
was
we were
earlier
there
in the
Thursday?
week. It was another. I think it was a lineman. Same thing, had like a reckless driving violation or something.
What is it? I really need to know.
I'm not really sure. I've actually been to Athens before and had zero issues keeping my car at an appropriate speed.
Are the roads inviting? Like, is it like, you know what? This looks like the fucking Autobahn. Like,
I didn't feel that way, but
I feel like they need to have a big NIL opportunity there with like State Farm or Allstate. Like Allstate already has the thing behind the field goal post or whatever, so they need to really
Safe
sweep
catch.
in and or some like I guess maybe if there's anybody that has an NIL deal with a car dealership, it needs to go away until they complete like a driver's ed course.
It needs to go away.
You know,
that may be the best result of this, the best outcome. A judge says, listen, the NCAA ain't going to do anything about it. We're going to tell you can't do NIL with these dealerships anymore.
I agree with
that would be an interesting punishment.
Yeah.
That's what they ought to do too, is make all the players, like they always say they take these BS electives, make them all take driver's ed.
Safety education courses.
In Ohio State /Trump news, Coach Day confirmed on Monday that Ohio State will be visiting the White House on April 14th. 2 days after the spring game, not the spring whatever the hell he was calling it before, he has gone back now and said we are going to do an actual spring game.
It's going to be a spring scrimmage.
Yeah.
So basically all the high money donors were like, no, we want something to go to. We want a spring game. You will do spring game. And he said, oh, okay.
Do you think that's
my
Jim?
take on that situation.
I mean, I think he definitely got pressure to, what are you doing? And lastly, one of the last things, Coach Matt Weiss, former University of Michigan and Baltimore Ravens coach, pled not guilty in federal court on Monday of 24 counts of unauthorized access to computers and aggravated identity theft. Remember that time we thought this was a part of the whole sign stealing cheating? It was not.
I don't know. Did we all think this?
Well,
I did.
Most of America did. Like, that was the narrative.
No, I don't think I ever
In
bought
fact,
into
that
that
documentary on Connor Stallions kind of alluded to it.
Yeah. I personally don't think I was ever all the way there. I'm not going to say it wasn't a thought in my mind, but sorry, continue.
Prosecutors allege that Weiss ran a vast multi-year effort to access personal accounts of thousands of NCAA student athletes, generally targeting specific female athletes, accessing personal, intimate photographs and videos. The 42-year-old married father of 3 is facing dozens of years in prison and millions in fines.
Michigan State thing, apparently.
What the fuck? Anyway, Mike Gundy suggests that Oklahoma State and OU, instead of playing their usual, because they canceled that rivalry game, bring it to spring game on April 12th and split the ticket gate and put the proceeds towards NIL.
I would say that's the best outside the box thinking I've heard.
I think this man is an NIL genius.
I like that a whole lot better than Syracuse going to play Colorado.
Yeah.
I don't mind a spring game. An Oklahoma State Oklahoma game could get chippy, and you risk someone getting hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a little too much for me. Like, for me, a spring game is Oklahoma State versus like a Division II school in Oklahoma. That's cool for both of them, and like, you know what I mean? A more low stakes. Like, I feel like this could end bad.
I don't think you're wrong there. I think
It's
all of
telling a
this is all
19-year-old
great
not to
points.
go all out when you're playing your right. Like if Ohio State scrimmaged against Michigan, which I know, but
Death. There'd be death
that's
on
what
the
I
field.
mean. Oklahoma
Yeah.
State's still a rivalry. Like Pitt, West Virginia scrimmaging against each other is not a good idea.
Right. Right.
Like
I agree.
that's where I have a hard time with that. I don't have a hard time with playing. I don't think scrimmaging against another school is a terrible idea. Just,
Well,
So if it was like WVU versus
Marshall.
Marshall.
that I think would be reasonable because there's it'd be fun. The state would come out for it, but there's not that like blood that you would have like with Pitt. There's like blood.
So then we put Ohio State against who, like Cincinnati?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Bowling Green.
OU, who they already beat up on anyway.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they're not on the schedule, then they can go play like some of the other teams in the state they beat up on, like Kent, Akron, Toledo.
That's kind of what I'm thinking,
Penn
like a
State.
MAC. Yeah,
Penn State can
because
just play
like you said, it's cool. Marshall fans get to come watch some like, or Akron fans get to go to Ohio Stadium, and I don't know, but it's not the same level of. Oof.
So with that, let's say those types of matchups, is this then those teams getting paid to show up just like they do for a regular season game?
Well, they're splitting the gate.
Yeah, that's what I would. That's how I'd do
Right, I
it.
understand Oklahoma State OU, but and I'm just using this example, is Ohio State going to split the gate with Akron?
I mean, they'll still sell it out.
Right, but is Ohio State going to be like, we'll give you 50% of this? I think because it's
I
Oklahoma
would
State
think.
OU, I think it's a different situation.
I think Ohio
Yeah,
State would
then
split the
Ohio
gate
State
with
can
Bowling
keep it.
Green.
Yeah, they can keep the concessions and any sort of gift shop or
Parking and shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well, I think you just go with, and you could almost go like, you split the profit, like.
And again, it's a spring game, Muff, too. You got to think they're not going to make bucos bucks like they would if this was a regular season game for tickets.
Plus, we're not thinking, hold on. We're not thinking outside the box here. If we play a Bowling Green, a Kent, we're also looking at freshmen and sophomores that are going to hit that transfer portal. You know what I mean? So, like,
That's definitely part of it.
it would behoove an Ohio State to see a Bowling Green lineman sophomore. Or a WVU plays a Marshall and they see a wide receiver or a corner. That's not a bad idea.
See, I mean, they're gaining more traction with that thought. So,
Yeah.
Coach Prime again ahead of the game. Sorry about it, Alex. Sorry
Yeah,
about
I mean,
it.
Alex, Prime is a genius.
Alex, will you kowtow to that? Will you agree that Prime is a genius?
Prime didn't say this.
He's the one who started the idea when he wanted to play Syracuse.
Oh, I thought we were talking like I was like, wait, Gundy. No. On principle.
Just want to make sure you're still staunch to that. Real quick, in the hockey world, the Frozen NCAA Frozen tournament. I don't know what they call it. The Frozen Four is what they call the last four. But the hockey tournament's going on. It's weird. I think there's the first round games happen over like a week or two period. It's not like over the same weekend, right? Because I think Ohio State played in their first round matchup, and Penn State doesn't play till I think this weekend. It was really weird. Unless I totally misread what was going on. It seemed like there was a lot of gap in between.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's usually like a day between, but like that's the same team playing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So I'm unsure what's going on there, but it's happening. I'm sure we'll talk about it when we get to the Frozen Four. In the golf world, gentlemen, we are less than 2 weeks away of my glorious trip to Augusta, Georgia, taking the Masters. It is so close, and I'm getting super, super excited. But I did want to share an odd piece of news with the Masters, aside from Scotty Scheffler's very plain Champions Dinner, which it's so plain that I don't even think it's worth sharing. Angel Cabrera, a two-time major winner, served a 2-year prison sentence for domestic abuse and was released on parole in August 2023, cleared to play in PGA Tour sanctioned events in December 2023, and is committed to play in this year's Masters as a previous champion.
Put a bet on him.
He's 42. I don't know.
No, he's coming back to play in this event.
And shit that don't involve wife beaters. There's a shirt, Muff. I think you fucked up my algorithm because now I'm getting all kinds of master stuff. But there is a shirt I saw, and I couldn't share it because it's one of those like Facebook posts that then disappear if you scroll away. Apparently,
So
there's
it's
a
sponsored
shirt.
ad.
Yeah, I think. There's a shirt out there, T-shirt, that's got the cool logo on the front, but on the back is every Masters winner listed. And if you find that shirt and happen to buy that shirt for your boy, I would wear that on the podcast.
With the winners on the back.
Yeah.
Where nobody would ever see it.
I would still wear it. Like, it would be like my summertime podcast shirt, I believe.
Gotcha.
To support your golf adventure.
All right. So I'll be there. So for those of you who don't know, you can't take phones or anything on site. So
At
when
all?
you're asked, yeah, you can't. You're not able to have it. You can't even have it on your person, Jim. Like,
Do they gonna pat
is
you
that-
down?
yeah, pretty sure that they make sure that it's not going in. And if you are caught with it, you're immediately dismissed.
What about Apple Watches? Like, can you have your...
I don't think you can have anything aside from like an old school ass camera. You can take pictures with something like that.
That doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay.
Well, yeah, to Jim's point, what if you use your watch for, like, medical purposes?
I'm sure that there are some loopholes and stuff like that, but you probably have to demonstrate that it's necessary.
You probably just can't.
Well, because it's not so much about the
We had a
picture.
snippet from Sam.
Oh.
We had a snippet from Sam.
Well, I don't see why you couldn't take your Apple Watch because you can't take a picture with it.
I don't think it's the picture. I think it's the alarms.
Oh.
That's what I assume.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
It's like a it's the whole nostalgia to the event.
Somebody calls on.
Yeah, but I just thought that you just couldn't take pictures.
That's where I was at too. That's
No,
a
you
great
can take
point.
pictures. That's what I'm saying. You have to have an old ass, regular ass camera.
So it's
So
the
did you
sound.
get a digital camera?
Digital camera. I have to look at all of the specs on what you
Yeah,
can
what are
bring
you
and
gonna
not
do?
bring.
How are you gonna capture the moment?
with his mind and his brain and his heart.
With my mind
You're not
And
gonna take
with-
any pictures.
and with the old ass camera. Yeah,
You're gonna do the twisty Kodak.
I don't know if I have to look see if that's on the approved options.
I know people that have gone and they've had like decent pictures, so I feel like a decent digital camera you're allowed to have.
Muff, what is this?
I will be on site Tuesday, April 8th.
I'm gonna need you. Oh, April 8th. Fuck. I'm gonna need you to find out when, because I got a camera, dog.
I just told you Tuesday, April 8th.
No, I'm gonna find I'm gonna need to find out the rules because I got a camera for you.
I think I have one. But
Remember the one I took to Garth Brooks?
Got it.
That,
I don't
you got
remember it, but I know you
got
had
in
one.
there. It'll be spot on for you. And it's tiny, not cumbersome. You'll be set.
Your camera is only allowed during practice rounds.
With
But
I'm
you
going
can-
to a practice round.
Yeah, Muffy's going to a practice round.
Yeah, you can wear your Apple Watch or other smartwatch, but you cannot use it for phone calls, emails, texting, or record or transmit any data.
But here's the thing: Muff doesn't have a smartwatch.
No. It wouldn't matter for me anyway.
We can barely get him to have a phone.
We're lucky he doesn't have a flip phone.
Trust me.
You are
For
lucky.
most of my friendship with this kid, he had a flip phone.
It was only because it wasn't like a standard option anymore, or else I would still have one.
Right.
You are so
Yep.
strange.
What? Live in the moment? Like to talk to my friends? Got it.
Yeah.
All right, baseball. Opening day
Tomorrow, right?
today.
Well, as we
Well.
released the podcast.
Today.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, it is today.
If you're listening to this, hopefully the Pirates are 1-0, only to lose their next 4 games and then win about 80% of Paul Skeens starts. That's the hope.
Shout out to Mr. Unger, Tessa's kindergarten teacher, who is celebrating opening day by letting the kids wear baseball stuff. I thought that was cool. Tessa's pumped. I don't like
What?
baseball.
What is she wearing?
Her like a ball cap, a black ball cap, because there's no baseball in my house. But shout
Put a
out
P
to
on
her.
it. Put a P on it for the Pirates.
I should. I wonder if I can find a pirate hat in my house, because I think we got one. I should. For you guys. I might do that.
Only for her to get
So
booed out of the
does she wear like
classroom.
a uniform? Does she usually wear a uniform?
No, but like typically like they have theme days and she wears different outfits.
I got
So
All right. In other baseball news, the talk of the MLB is that they may be making a push for a legitimate salary cap, which some, including Jeff Passan, think may result in the league locking out the players in December of 2026. Jeff Passan's thoughts included asking the question, is it worth it to take a great era of MLB that we are in the midst of right now and absolutely torpedo it in pursuit of financial gains?
yes.
Yeah.
How is this a great era?
That was the base assumption that I felt was very, very off.
Like how?
The great era is that we have the best Japanese players in the United States. That may be the best part of this era. Paul Skeens.
Baseball sucks.
Like, aside from Shohei and Paul Skeens, who are the exciting players in the MLB that we care about? Nate, you probably know the most about baseball. Or keep up with it, at least, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, there's two other Japanese pitchers that are on the Dodgers this year. One of them's like a real young rookie, like Roki Sasuke or something,
Mm-hmm.
who made his debut in the Tokyo series. I mean, you got him, you've got Mookie Betts, again, another Dodger. I mean, just trying to jump around the league. You still got Bryce Harper in Philly, who's making buco bucks. Juan Soto, who just signed a stupid contract with the Mets for like 10 plus years, like 600 some million. I mean, the money in baseball is just ridiculous to be able to pay one guy. They need a salary cap desperately.
I honestly don't know why we pay them. Like I don't get the attraction. I don't get how the sport is legitimate. Like how is the fan base there to warrant $600 million? I see your face, Alex. I just don't get it.
I think that the fan base is a lot bigger than you think it is. It's just where we live. Like right now, we're a bunch of scorned Pirates fans. Oh,
and Jim, remember,
600 million?
Well, it's astronomical, but you got to remember too. Like they have the media rights deal, they have revenue profit sharing through the TV deals, but you got to think too. They have 80-some home games, 82 home games a year.
82
I just don't.
revenue generating opportunities.
So that's 81 opportunities is
Yeah.
162 regular season games. You have 81 opportunities to sell tickets, merch, concessions, parking, you name it.
I need somebody to show me baseball math one time and break it all down for me. Because
It's the
Jim's, go
problem
start
is that the
Moneyball.
baseball math in Pittsburgh is different than the baseball math in New York.
yeah,
How much of those seats sell for, Nate?
What seats?
At Yankee Stadium, and they're like thousands of dollars for certain seats in the areas.
Oh yeah, it depends on where you sit.
Yeah, whereas you can
But
go
like
to a Pirates
Pirates
game for
team-
$40 or $50.
Yeah, that's just for a pretty good seat. I mean, you can sometimes sit in the outfield for like 10 or 15.
yeah.
Right.
I've gone.
I mean, especially weekday games, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
You go to a Yankees game, it's probably $100 for the worst seat.
that's crazy.
That's baseball math
Crazy.
right there, Jim. And they flex and do dynamic pricing too. So when the Yankees come to Pittsburgh, those tickets cost more.
So yeah, not only are the Yankees coming to Pittsburgh and there's going to be dynamic pricing, it's the home opener weekend.
Gonna be a big ticket in Pittsburgh, Jim. Big ticket, Zambelli's fireworks, all of the fun. As we wrap up this episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, be on the lookout for Alex and I making sure we share our bets over the weekend, see if we're up, we're down, or in between, and to make sure that we keep going up, 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 and away. You have to tell a friend, make a friend, be a friend.